It was a rough start for the dog of the night candidates for us last week as Gaston Bolanos goes out there and gets absolutely smushed by Marcus McGee, who is clearly the faster and more powerful fighter, even though I believe this technical advantages that Bolanos and experience that he was going to have was going to be the difference maker there. It looked like he was moving in sand and McGee was having as much fun with him as he pretty much wanted. So very unfortunate performance there for Bolanos. I had Preston Parsons as well. Probably should have given him the moniker of dog of the night last week. Unfortunately, we went with Bolanos and end up eating crow. Also on the LFA scene, Will Johnson ends up shitting the bag for us, or bed for us, or bag, whatever you want to call it. And we go 0 for 2 on the weekend for dog of the night candidates. Obviously, -2 units now. Yeah, is what it is. We got to turn it around this week, and I got another top three dog of the night candidates for you guys. Again, which one am I going to end up going with of the three that I'm telling you? The only way to find out is on the Patreon page. Link for that is in the description below. All right, let's get right into it. First, dog of the night candidate I have for you guys is the first fight of the night, where we got Jimmy Flick coming in as a +140 dog going up against Malcolm Gordon. Now, very intriguing that the line is moving as much as it is, as I did see Jimmy Flick around that +110 line a few days ago. Seems like Malcolm Gordon love coming in now, maybe due to the bias that we are getting on the Jimmy Flick side, where he just does not look the greatest in the striking realm, but neither does Malcolm Gordon. I fully expect these guys to chip away at each other a little bit on the feet before this fight eventually hits the ground, where I expect Jimmy Flick to be the one with the craftier submission game. I fully believe that he should be able to pull off reversals, submissions, or anything that he wants off of his back if Malcolm Gordon is the one looking to take this fight to the ground. But even if Flick is the one looking for the takedowns here, I think he could be successful with it and implement his own jiu-jitsu game. Jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu, I truly believe that Jimmy Flick is the better of the two here. So the fact that we're getting him at +140 now compared to the +110 from earlier in the week, clear dog of the night candidate. I got to go with Jimmy Flick here with the first dog of the night candidate. Second dog of the night candidate I have for you guys is Marc-Andre Barriault, coming in at +165 against Chris Curtis. Now, Curtis is a veteran of the game, 40 plus professional fights, I should say. We know his style. The guy likes to exchange in the pocket. He has big power when he's able to establish those pocket exchanges with his opponents. Unfortunately for him, Barriault won't be exchanging in many of those. He does a great job in terms of using his footwork and fighting from the outside, or getting inside, getting dirty, and utilizing the clinch to really wear on his opponents and rough them up. The thing that Barriault does best is weaponize his cardio. He sets a high pace that makes it hard for his opponents to keep up with him. And even if he's the one on his back foot like he was against Eric Anders in his last fight, he does a good enough job in terms of throwing enough output and touching up his opponent enough to make it look good enough for the judges to get his hand raised on the scorecards. I think that he can do that here. As long as he stays away from the power that Curtis has in the pocket, I think Barriault can put together a good enough game plan here to go out there and win this fight on the scorecards, which is why at +165, he's a no-brainer dog of the night candidate. And the third and final dog of the night candidate I have for you guys is Sean Woodson, coming in at +160, going up against Charles Jourdain. Now, I'm a big Charles Jourdain fan, obviously being Canadian and all. He's a very fun and entertaining fighter to watch with his wild and unorthodox striking style, but he's going up against a technically better striker here in Sean Woodson. Not only that, but Sean Woodson will have a 5-inch height advantage and a 9-inch reach advantage over Charles Jourdain. Now, I know people want to go back and say, oh, look at what Luis Saldana was able to do against Woodson, hurting him numerous times in the first round and still fighting to a draw that night. Woodson and Saldana don't have as big of a discrepancy in terms of their size as Woodson and Jourdain. You know, Jourdain has a lot of no man's zone to cover here before he can end up landing his own shots. And of course, his unorthodox style could allow him to close that distance a little bit more effectively than past opponents of Woodson's. But I feel like he's going to need like a big shot every single time to hurt, finish, or even just rock Woodson to make it look good enough on the scorecards. And if Jourdain wants to take a grapple-heavy approach, this man has completed 1 takedown in the UFC and 12 UFC fights. He's only hit them at a 16% hit rate. He's not that successful with it, and I think it's going to get hard for him to close that distance and even get in on the hips of Woodson, as Woodson is utilizing his teep kicks up the middle and his long jab from distance, staying on his bicycle and touching up Jourdain from long range. So I think Woodson is a pretty good dog of the night candidate here, coming in at +160, and that's why he's the last dog of the night candidate I have for you guys. Again, if you want to find out which of those three I actually went for my official dog of the night play, check the link in the description below for the Patreon page. A ton of other great content on there as well. The lock of the night play, a ton of degenerate plays and parlays and props for you guys to take shots on. Suggested same game parlays as well. If you have access to DraftKings, check it out. The Patreon page is on and popping. All right, next tomorrow, I will see you guys back for the free parlay, which is the Lockheed Trinity and the Lockheed Two-Step, which have already been released to the Patreon folks. They got in it nice and early, but I'll give it to for the public, to the public for free. I'm stumbling all over my words today. I apologize, folks. That will be coming out for free on Thursday for you guys. Will the price be better or worse? Who knows? I'm assuming it's going to be worse, but we'll see. And then the quick picks video is coming out tomorrow as well. So if you didn't want to listen to me jibber jabbering for over an hour talking about the fights, you can get the quick pick bite-sized version of the breakdowns on Thursday. And then on Friday, 3 best prop bets and also KSW 90 coming out. Those quick picks and predictions will strictly be on the Patreon page. Check the link in the description below for that. All right. That's a wrap on the top 3 dog of the night candidates. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the quick picks and free parlay video. Peace.